So I hear it all the time. I would never carry one of those ferro rods. I'll just carry a lighter. Why would I carry? And listen, I get it. Carry a lighter and carry a ferro rod. And if your lighter breaks and all you have is this, do you know what to do? Because there's still a lot of life in this thing. A lot of life. And today we're going to show you what to do to make this thing work again. It's all busted. You saw I made it blow up at the beginning. It was great. Okay, so as discussed in other videos in the past, all right, we have this little wheel on top that when you turn is striking what most people say is flint. It's like a small ferrocerium rod inside, and then the button in the back when you press it is where the fluid, which was once here, feeds up. Complete triangle of fire. If you're ever teaching anybody about triangle of fire, a lighter is a great way to do it, but in our case we have no fuel, or do we? What we're going to do is the same technique that we use with the large ferro rod, and that is scrape shavings off the rod and then light those shavings with the ferro rod. We have spark, we just got to get those shavings off. So how do we do that? It is pretty easy, all right? So normally we spin the wheel this way, we get spark, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to spin the wheel backwards. You can spin it forwards too if you would like, but I think it's a little bit better if you spin it backwards. I feel like you get more material removed from that little ferro rod on the inside. You're gonna need somewhere to catch all those shavings because they are fine. This is not going to be a explosion of molten metal and sparks the way a large ferro rod is, but it'll get the job done. And it's gonna give you a little open flame that hopefully you know enough what to do with it to get it going, like birch bark, a little bit of fat wood, or put this in something like some fat wood and light it, and you'll be golden. All right, so I'm gonna do this onto a piece of paper. I'm gonna assume you wouldn't have paper in the field, so you're gonna need to find somewhere to put these shavings, but for demonstration purposes, it's gonna work best because you're gonna be able to see, as I do this, the material falling off of the lighter, okay? Which really quickly, you're gonna notice, once I move my fingers here, you can see, hopefully, that there is dust coming off this. So what I'm gonna have to do now for a while is sit here and just continue this process. All right, so after a few minutes of work with this thing, you see what we got there, okay? So now the goal would be to ultimately get this thing to ignite with our spark, okay? So to do this, you're gonna have to get that spark right down in there. And you saw, well, we got that flash, a little bit more going on. So now the paper, of course, is gonna burn, so we don't want that, okay? But that, my friends, should teach you something. Although that was a very small flash, flame and out, okay? It gave us the ability to create open flame with just this sparking mechanism, which is extremely important to understand. Now, I could have sat longer and got more material off of that little ferro rod on the inside, and I would have had a longer flame, okay? But what you want to think about is to have something built into this, okay? We don't want to get that flame and then try to grab something and put it over it. So again, like I said, you could put those shavings into birch bark. You can put those shavings into fat wood. You can have dried grass there, okay? Anything that will take an open flame source very quickly and readily, you can utilize this technique for, okay? So if you understand it, you have to just apply it to your situation, which is probably gonna be a lot more work on the wheel, removing material, and hence quicker fire in the end. So I hope you enjoyed this quick tip. I love these little fire tips because I think they translate over so well to other things. If you understand this and you can make this work, when you got a big ferro rod, you're like, wait a minute, the lighter I can scrape the ferro rod, it all plays together. So give this one a try, it's a fun one. So this was Dan Wolak, and it's real fun to bust the lighter at the beginning. So this was Dan Wolak, Coalcracker Bushcraft. As always, check us out at coalcrackerbushcraft.com. And until next video, stay in the woods.